So what we did is we went ahead and calculated what kind of bolts, what size bolts we need to put our shocks on. So we got that. Now I got to put a cross member in there. Okay, and I'm going to take this over here. We got 3 choices here. We can go with a 2x4. Okay, we can go with a 3x2, or we can go with a 3x1. All right. I'm really leaning toward the 3x1. They're both all of them are the same thickness. And what the fuck was that? Hang on a second here. Did I just hear a noise outside? Let's check it out and see. Okay. I don't see nobody. Got to be careful what's going on around here, see? Especially when you're working early in the morning or late at night. You got to really, really watch out what's going on. Okay. So, yeah, we're here by ourselves today. Nobody wants to work because it's freezing cold, and that's a good fucking excuse for them not to work. Anyway, so I'm thinking I'm gonna go with the 3x1, 1x3. That might be our better choice, because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take our round stock, if you look over there, our round tube, okay? Yeah, there it is. And I'm gonna go ahead and drill that out. I'm gonna weld it in to the frame of the structure here, and that's gonna give it more strength, see, when we put our bolt through there. You don't wanna just drill through that and bolt that on there, because what's gonna happen when you tighten your shock bolt up, it's gonna squeeze that. So it's gonna squeeze it together, and it'll never get tight. So you always want to reinforce it with a type of tubing, okay, like you see right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and use the 3x1. It's gonna be more compact in there, and it's gonna be more efficient to use that. What I'll have to do is I'll have to cut that out. I'll have to measure it all up. What I'll do is I'll tack weld my brackets on the bottom of the axle first. Go ahead and put my shocks on, and that'll give me a idea where our shocks are going to be. I'm going to put the shocks on the front side of the rear end instead of the back side, due to the fact that we got our pannered bar, whatever you want to call it. I call it a pannered bar. Okay, we got the pannered bar here, and there's just not really a lot of room in there. We got this frame support that's going to be here, because we're going to have to take this frame support out to put our gas tank in. That's right. We're going to have a rear-mounted fuel injection gas tank with an in-tank fuel pump, and more than likely we're waiting on it to get here. We're going to have to take this brace out, so we're going to need this one. And what we'll probably do is move this over, if possible. I don't fucking know yet. When we get the tank, we'll find out. So, let me get that cut so it'll fit in there, and then I'll show you what we're going to do with this piece right here. And I believe that would actually work better if I use the 2x4. If you want to use a 2x4, you will have to notch it out, and I'm going to draw you'll have to notch it out like this, where the rear end is, just in case you hit a hard bump, that the rear housing will not hit that frame, see? So, I think, like I said, for the 17th fucking time, okay, the 1x3 is going to be the way to go on this project. That's what we're going to use. That's what I'm going to do. Alright, what I did is we got our rear end where it's supposed to be in the frame. It's already bolted in. You can see it's bolted in solid. Am I right, Benny?
It looks pretty solid.
And this is a pretty cut and dry situation we have. It doesn't take a fucking degree in college to do this. Many can probably do this.
What are you doing?
We're going to go ahead and install the rear coilover shocks on the truck. Alright, what I did, if you look, you can see where I took the shock mount, the rear end shock mount that we purchased, and I went ahead and made a spacer. Can you see the space in between that shock, Minnie?
Yes, I can.
Right, now that's chrome moly steel, so that's very, very strong, and it'll last a long time. I had to remount the holes just a little bit. So the bolt, that's a 5/8 bolt. Okay, that's heavy duty. So what I did is I went ahead and installed my shock, and I tightened up the adjusters to make sure that the extension rod of the shock is all the way out. And then what I got to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'll measure, because I want those to be centered, but I'll measure them from the backing plate over on each side, and they'll be in the same spot. I got to go ahead and weld that approximately right there. I'm going to make sure that the shock is straight up and down when I do it. And then once that's welded, that'll tell me where my cross member needs to go to bolt the top shock on to the frame. Does that make sense to anybody out there, especially Minnie?
I'm following you. Just barely.
So, this is it. Now, if you notice right here, can you get the camera where you can see stuff, Minnie, please? Like
yes,
maybe you might have to get down. Okay, be a little action camera girl there for a little while.
All right, Pete.
Hey.
What do you want me to show?
I want you to show the shocks, man. The mounts that
Well, that's what I've been showing.
No, you haven't. You've been looking at me.
Well, what, you want me to lay on the ground?
Give me the camera. Okay. Let me have the camera so I can show everybody how it's done, see? Because Minnie is acting silly now. Oh, so today you're wearing your blue hat, huh? And you had the microphone backwards, too.
I just turned the camera on.
Okay, so as you can see down here, look how I'm doing this, okay? See how I'm holding the camera?
Yeah, I see that.
As you can see, I have spot welded the brackets onto the rear end. Now, I did measure out 12 inches from the mounting plate over, but I had to go 13 to clear the frame. So, I did the same thing to this side. As you can see down there, you can see it. And everything worked out well. I didn't say you can hold the camera yet.
Sorry.
Gosh, getting excited there? So what I did is I went ahead and I measured my frame out. I eyeballed it out. And like I said, this is just a common, easy job. You don't need to be a rocket scientist to put these on. The only thing that you got to really, really be careful with is making sure that your yoke, your rear end yoke, lines up into the hole there and goes on to the transmission for your drive shaft. Because if you notice, it's a boxed in area in there for your drive shaft, so that must be like a old school drive shaft loop in case the drive shaft breaks. But this did have a two-piece drive shaft, so I'm sure that had a lot to do with it too. But we're going to go ahead and use a one-piece drive shaft. But anyway, that's in another video, and now I'm getting ahead of myself. So the main thing that you got to remember before you weld your cross member in, excuse me, hello.